What is a Form 12 and why should you care? If you live in Ireland and you have a PAYE job, but you also earn some non-PAYE income on the side, you might need to file what is called a Form 12 at the end of the tax year to declare that income.
This income could be renting a room on Airbnb, could be freelancing in your spare time, selling t-shirts on Amazon, dividend income, crypto staking income, all that kind of stuff.
If that extra income is between €0 and €5,000, you'll likely need to file a Form 12 at the end of the year.
If, however, that income is greater than €5,000, you'll have to file a Form 11. I will be doing a video on Form 11 in the coming weeks, so make sure to subscribe and get notified when that comes out.
In this video, we'll be giving an overview of what a Form 12 is, who needs to file a Form 12, and how and when to file it.
Okay, let's get it.
So if we look at investing specifically, if you live in Ireland, you'll likely need to file a Form 12 at the end of the tax year because things like, as Cian mentioned earlier, dividends, staking crypto rewards, renting out a room in your home or renting out a room on Airbnb, you cannot declare those things on a CG1 form, and thus those need to be declared on a Form 12.
We do have a video which explains how to run through a CG1 form, which you can check out here. However, it's important to note that CG1 is just for declaring capital gains, whereas a Form 12 is for declaring income.
So that distinction between capital gains and income is really important. So let's take a really simple example just to illustrate it.
So if you sell a stock and realise a gain, you pay CGT at a rate of 33% on this gain. So for example, if you bought a stock for €100 and sell it for €150, you have made a gain of €50 and will owe 33% tax on that €50. The 33% that you owe can be declared as a gain on the CG1 form. But say this €100 stock you bought also paid a €5 quarterly dividend every 3 months. Then the money earned through that will be taxed as income, not CGT.
So simply put, buy a stock, sell it for more, pay capital gains tax.
Receive dividends on a stock you own, income tax.
And this extra income you would declare to Irish tax authorities using a Form 12. And yes, technically in this example, you wouldn't actually owe any tax because there's the €1,270 tax exemption, but for the sake of the example, ignore that.
Okay, but what about filing a Form 12? You basically have two options. You can either e-file it on revenue.ie, or you can paper file it and mail it to Revenue.
For most, when it comes to filing these taxes, the e-filing method is probably the easiest and simplest way to do it. However, one caveat that we didn't mention earlier is that if you do choose to paper file your Form 12, there is actually a section on capital gains tax within that form. So if you choose to go that route, you actually won't need to file a CG1 form in addition to your Form 12 because you can do it all in one form. So again, just worth mentioning. So just to be completely clear, if you do decide to go down the e-filing route, i.e. through your My Revenue account, you will also still need to do a CG1 form to declare any capital gains returns that you need to do. Paper file it, you don't.
And why have Revenue done this? We have no idea. It's very confusing, and hopefully they just update the system soon.
Okay, so let's take a look at the Form 12 itself. To keep things simple, we're just going to run through the e-filing version of the Form 12, but don't worry, the paper version, if you choose to do so, isn't that complicated. The important thing to remember is that when you are doing the paper version, you can skip over any parts that are not applicable to you, and this isn't always as obvious at first glance, so just to be aware of. As with most forms associated with Revenue, the important thing is not to get too bogged down with the details, whether you're e-filing or paper filing. It's better to submit something on time and then make iterations if needs be than not submit something at all, so keep that in mind. Okay, so let's show you exactly how to file a Form 12. So once you've logged into your My account on revenue.ie, you'll simply come down to review your tax 2017 to 2020 or whatever tax year is applicable to you when you're watching this video. Click review your tax and then the current tax year should pop up. So one small caveat here is on this account, we've already submitted a Form 12, so your screen might look slightly different to what we're seeing. On our screen it says amend, whereas it might say something different on yours. I can't fully remember what it says. I think it's something like submit your income tax return, but either way, just follow through with the steps and you'll likely be fine. So on this first screen, you're gonna see completing your income tax return. Remember, in this scenario, Form 12 is essentially your income tax return, so don't get too confused by that. Then below that, you'll see an outline of all the various steps that you need to complete to file a Form 12. In our case, we're going to be mainly focusing on Section 3, which is non-PAYE income, and Section 4, which is where you can declare your various tax credits and reliefs to pay less tax. And that's an important note. Filing a Form 12 isn't just to pay tax, it's also a way of reducing and perhaps even getting a refund on your tax. So really important to keep that in mind also. Another great perk of filing online is that Section 1 and Section 2 are likely already going to be pre-populated for you based on the information provided by your employer, so that'll make things a little bit quicker. So we're just going to hit start. So of course we're going to try to keep our personal details personal in these examples, but Section 1 is just adding the various things like your PPS number, your name, your address, and all the other important details you're going to need. That being said, most of these should already be populated, so simply confirm they're correct and move on to the next section. Just one thing that you will likely be asked to confirm on the personal details page is if 1, you are ordinarily resident in Ireland, and 2, if you are domiciled in Ireland. We're not going to go into the details too much in this video, but to get a quick explainer whether this is applicable to you, simply hit the I beside each, double check if the information is applicable to you or not, and then answer accordingly. As mentioned, most will be answering yes to both. On step 2, PAYE income should already all be pre-populated based on your most recent employment history. So for most, you won't need to take any action here. The main focus is simply make sure that everything is correct, your tax credits are correct, and if anything doesn't seem correct, contact your employer, as they will be the ones that will need to make the changes here. But if everything looks in order, you can simply skip on through and click to the next section. Section 3 is non-PAYE income, and this is one of the main focuses of this video. On this section, you will be able to declare dividends, foreign income, and other examples of income. So remember, similar to what we mentioned with the paper form where you don't need to fill in everything, it's only the stuff that's applicable to you. When looking at these drop downs, the same logic applies. You'll see many different options, but again, only go into the ones that are applicable to you, and you only need to fill out the ones that are applicable to you also. We of course don't have enough time to go through all of these individually, but we are going to just touch upon the ones likely relevant to our audience. And if you have any questions on any of the other ones or any of the ones that we discuss, do hit us up in the comments below and we'll be happy to help you out. This first drop down to do with the Department of Social Protection is probably outside of the scope of this video, as there's a lot in here and it might not be applicable to everyone. If you have any questions on it, do let us know in the comments and we'll direct you to the information that you need. If you have any dividends to declare, the dividends drop down is obviously where you want to put these in. For most watching, US dividends are probably going to be the most applicable, as that's where most investors do tend to put their money. But if you have any UK dividends, Canadian dividends, or dividends from Irish resident companies, these are the sections you're going to want to click into. So for example, you have US dividends to declare, you will enter the amount of the gross dividends received. So this is basically the total amount that is paid to you as a dividend. You can add in the euro amount here and click add. One thing we need to caveat that when it comes to US dividends, there is either a 30% or a 15% withholding tax on US dividends for Irish investors. It's 30% if you have not submitted a W8 BEN form, and it's 15% if you have. What is a W8 BEN form? In most cases, you won't need to worry about it, as it was probably already filled in by you when you were signing up for your broker. So if you were signing up for Trading 212 or Interactive Brokers or eTar or whatever broker you use, you've likely already filled in a W8 BEN form, and your broker will send that to the US government on your behalf. If you're concerned or not sure if you have or have not done it, do contact your broker and they can confirm this for you. When it comes to filling in the form here, our understanding, and again, this is our understanding, is that you would put in the total amount of US dividends that you've received without factoring in the taxation, and then you would pay the acquired tax on those dividends at the full amount, and then you would be able to declare back any tax that you've overpaid as a result of the withholding tax as a tax credit from revenue. So one obvious question is, if you have dividends from outside of any of these countries or regions, where do you declare those? In short, we're not entirely sure where's most appropriate, but our best guess is if you go into foreign income and come down to other foreign income, including rents, this is likely where we suggest putting it in. Simply click the other foreign income checkbox, add in dividends from whatever country is appropriate, type in the gross amount, and if foreign tax has already been deducted from those dividends, you can add that in here. As we said earlier, if there are any issues with the return, revenue will likely flag it with you and you can adjust accordingly, so don't be too worried about adding it here. So in the foreign income drop down, the most relevant and probably applicable section here is going to be from other foreign income, including rents. So if you have a rental property in Spain and you're generating income from that, that is where you would declare this income. If you were in receipt of a foreign salary, that could also be applicable. So again, just to show you what it looks like, you'd put in the gross amount. Again, if there's any tax already deducted, you would add that here and simply click add, and that's all you need to do. Similarly, if you're declaring rent, you click select, you click foreign rental income. You can decide how many properties you have rented abroad, the gross amount. You can add in any expenses, allowable interest, and so on and so forth. If any of this isn't clear, we have a video on rental property taxes, and we briefly touch upon foreign income tax on rental properties. So do check out our video, which will leave a link in the top right corner to that video. Under the other income dropdown, the two most relevant sections are likely going to be 1, rental income, and 2, this section down here. Rental income is self-explanatory. This is if you were a landlord or you were renting out a number of properties, you would add all the relevant income in here. We won't dwell on the rental income side of the form for too much because we already have a video on rental income taxes, but once you've watched that video and you're ready to file the Form 12, this is where you're going to input all the information. So things like your expenses, your capital allowances, etc. That is all going to be filled in on this form and this section here. Just one caveat here is if you were looking to claim rent room relief, i.e. you are renting out a room in your primary residence and the income generated from renting that room is under €14,000, you would not submit that income on this section, you will submit it on the relief section, which we'll be looking at shortly. Then the second relevant section here is this section down here, and you would use this drop down to add in any non-PAYE income in addition to your job. So this, as we mentioned earlier, could be from selling t-shirts on Amazon, doing some freelance digital advertising for a small business, or whatever it might be. So in order to add that, you would just click select. You would describe the income, and what we found is you can only actually add this once. So if you are adding different types of income, just summarize them all here. So just say Amazon sales, digital advertising, and whatever else it might be. Add in the amount of income and click add. Once you've added it, the description and summary will add in down here, and you can continue on with the process. To reiterate, if any of these on screen are applicable to you and we haven't covered them in detail, do leave us a comment below and we'll be happy to answer any questions you might have. Okay, once you're finished with all of the various sections, you can simply click next. So section 4, tax credits and reliefs. This is where it gets a little bit more fun, and this is where you can start claiming back tax as opposed to paying it. So again, similar to the non-PAYE income section, we don't have time to go through every single option here, but again, we'll go to the ones that are probably applicable to most of those watching. So the one that's most applicable to probably everyone is health expenses, and under health expenses, this is where you can declare tax relief on any expenses that you paid for out of pocket that was not covered by your private health insurance. So as revenue give examples here themselves, things like consultants fees, doctors fees, prescription drugs can be included in this. However, stuff like Vaseline or Sudocrem or toothpaste obviously cannot. Another one that might be applicable is the medical insurance relief, and under this you can get relief on medical insurance paid by your employer up to a value of €200 if it has not already been taxed at source. Under you and your family, the two most relevant, more than likely, is going to be the rental room relief if you're renting out a room, or the stay and spend, and we'll get into that shortly. But first, for rental room relief, as mentioned earlier, this is where you would add in the up to €14,000 that you might earn from renting out a room in your primary residence. Here you would simply add the gross amount of income that you've generated from your rental room relief and add it in here. And then the second is stay and spend. So in short, this is really only going to be applicable to those who were alive and well during the COVID pandemic, and that is if you stayed in Ireland to holiday between the 1st of October and the 31st of December 2020, you can claim back some relief from a tax standpoint on, say, accommodation and food that you would have accumulated during that time. The one caveat here is, of course, that you will need to upload receipts and all the images and details of your trip, which you are probably unlikely to have. But if you are organised and you do have all this to hand, you might be able to claim back some of this as a tax relief. Under the your job drop down, most of these probably won't be applicable. The first one to look at it might be the remote working relief. Again, this is applicable to those who were working during the COVID pandemic, and it's a way for you to claim back some of your working from home expenses, such as your electricity or your heat or your broadband. Again, you will need receipts and proof of bills, and if your employer already gave you €3.20 per day to cover some of those costs, it might not be applicable to you. But again, just hit these I drop downs instructions to explain or get an explainer on what exactly can or cannot receive relief. So that's where you'd add that in. Remember, finding out what tax credits and reliefs that are applicable to you is your responsibility. Revenue are not going to send you an email reminding you that you can pay less tax. So again, it's in your interest to figure this out and apply it to your own situation. Once you've figured out your tax credits and your reliefs, you can follow on through and just click through to the next section. So on section 5, it's simply a declaration of all the information that you've submitted. Simply double check that everything is correct. If it's not, you can return to the previous screens and edit it. And if it is, you can click submit. Remember, once you do click submit, you can come back and amend your income tax return before the tax cutoff deadline. So don't be overly concerned if you do want to return to fill it out in more detail. And that's it. Simply add your PPS number, add your My Account password, click sign up submit, and that's you done.
So hopefully that clears up any questions you have on the Form 12 and how to file it.
That being said, we know we didn't go into detail on every single section of the form, so if there are sections that you want more information on or you're not totally clear on, do make sure to ask us in the comments below and we'll be happy to help you out.
And if you found that video helpful, please make sure to like it and subscribe to our channel.
Seriously, we'll wait.
Otherwise, see you in the next one.